All right, how are you guys doing? We are live with today's crypto show. This is Saturday, 12th of May. Crypto never sleeps, and we are covering every day what is going on with the world of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, what's happening in the markets. And today, as you can see, we're still not recovering from the last couple of days. The whole crypto market fell by like $50 billion and lost in market capitalization of about $50 billion in the last 2 days. So why is that? Blame Japan and blame Korea. That's the bottom line. And of course, there can be several reasons that kind of came into one timing that we lost so much in the like 20% of overall crypto market in the last week. And we'll talk about that today in this show. But it is short term, right? It's temporary. I'll share with you some positive news of where we are headed today and what is going on behind the scenes, and why it is a short-term move that we are seeing right now. And we'll also talk a little bit about Facebook, and they're developing their own cryptocurrency, and which is a huge deal. And will the market continue to crash like this, where we are in the market? So $380 billion, guys. This is the current market capitalization, and it fell by like $50 billion. If you're looking at the global charts, we used to be right here just recently, a couple days ago, at $450 billion, right, in the last week. So we lost from $470 billion to $380 billion. And one big reason for that, and you see a lot of the cryptocurrencies are in the red today. Bitcoin is minus 3% over the last 24 hours. Of course, moving from 9,300, it lost $1,000 in the last couple of days. Ethereum is down, Ripple is down, EOS is down. So the whole market cap is pretty much in the red today, with double digits a lot of the times. Single double digits in the top 100 cryptocurrencies. One big reason for that is the Mt. Gox trustee that flooded the market again with thousands of Bitcoin. And this is something that happened in 2014 and still affects us all to this day. The hack, the famous big hack of Mt. Gox, which was the biggest exchange at the time, processing 70% of all transactions, back in February 2014, got hacked, and 850,000 Bitcoin were stolen, and it declared bankruptcy. So now, 4 years later, and we are still affected by those news, where the Mt. Gox trustee, which is in Japan, this guy, Nobuaki Koboshiri, so blame him. He's basically flooded the market back a couple months ago as well, and selling a lot of Bitcoin, and now it happens again. And there are some companies that oversees those wallets and their movements. So like 4 movements of 2,000 Bitcoins were going on. So instead of using, and once somebody tweeted, someone please tell the drunk Mt. Gox trustee person to stop using crypto exchanges and move to the over-the-counter or OTC market, which OTC market stands for the ability to sell Bitcoins at large quantities, kind of in a wholesale prices, and then it distributes through different brokers from there. So apparently, instead of using over-the-counter method of paying basically all those creditors, there's a list of a lot of creditors, they still owe money, so they convert it into fiat, and they still haven't sold all of the portion of the Bitcoin that is in this past bankrupt exchange, right? So there is still a lot to be sold, but this move is not the only reason why Bitcoin tanked, because it's only about $70 million. or so, 8,000 Bitcoin. And you can see those moves of 2,000 Bitcoin. Another reason, and it happened at the same time as prosecutors raid South Korea's biggest cryptocurrency exchange, Yonhap. And Yonhap, it has been processing a lot of transactions. You can actually see that here, but it's about 1.6 billion transactions per day. There is a huge exchange happening. So police raided the exchange with Upbit, right? Which basically, you know, accusing them of what is going on with their operation. Like they're not been following the procedures properly, and they detained the executives, 4 executives. They still told everybody there in South Korea that their funds is still secure. There's a lot of funds in that exchange, but the prices of Bitcoin in South Korea, of course, dropped, and that affected, kind of dragged it over to the global community as well, as people, you know, reacted. It's kind of like a butterfly effect in Bitcoin. One thing that happens in one place of the world kind of affects the other places, so to speak. So this is, of course, a huge happening in this one big exchange. It can have a ripple effect on the whole crypto market. So that, and in combination of Mt. Gox, and of course that maybe not the only reasons, as if you go to a website like bitinforcharge.com, and you can see the top richest addresses, Bitcoin addresses. You know, there are quite some people that own from 10,000 to 100,000 Bitcoin. So if some whales, you know, they see, okay, I want to sell some of my Bitcoin, or I don't want to hold Bitcoin anymore, and they go and sell the large quantity of Bitcoin in the exchanges, any one of those people, which I think will be stupid to do, but they can affect the prices of Bitcoin as well in the markets. But regardless of where we are, you know, we still advanced a lot in this space since, you know, the last several years. Basically, the largest the most important, I would say, ICO, where it got started, everything was Ethereum back in 2014, and a lot of the ICOs exploded pretty much. If you take a look at the animation, right, back in 2017, like all of these ICOs popped up. Tezos and Filecoin, 257 million, you know, the DAO, 168 million. All of these ICOs popped up in 2017 primarily, with a lot of ideas, a lot of different projects in the crypto space, with a lot of promises. So, you know, all I hope for the crypto market, for it not to experience far bigger crashes than we are seeing right now, because all of this is peanuts compared to the biggest crash that can come if those projects will not going to deliver on their promises, right? There's a whole bunch of ICOs that flooded the markets, which constitute a lot of the portion of the market cap, because Bitcoin is taking only 142 billion out of the $380 billion market capitalization of all cryptocurrencies. So I believe that a lot of the projects will deliver on their promises. Not the vast majority though. Many projects will fail, just like with any startups, with any companies. 90% of companies fail, but nevertheless, you know, there are going to be a lot of successful companies, just like with the internet when it got started in the 1990s. You know, those companies, some failed, right? But it's not long term because of the technology. We knew that internet is going to stay. Well, not initially in the beginning. In the 1990s, it was not clear so much if internet is going to catch up. But the long-term vision, of course, everybody will be using the internet, and the companies will eventually succeed, and internet is here to stay. Well, blockchain is here to stay, and Bitcoin is here to stay, and the crypto technology is here to stay, just like the internet was there to stay when it first got started. And there was a big .com bubble in 2000, so we might experience something similar with the cryptocurrency market. I don't know, but we are in those initial phases where this new technology is being adopted across the industries, across the companies, and it's going to affect every single vertical with everything that we are doing. So it is definitely here to stay over the long term. I'm very bullish on that. But we just need to see how those new projects that are coming up are going to really deliver on their promises. You know, like they said they would, like EOS. You know, it's still just a project that people are working on that is worth right now $100.6 billion market cap, and they are in the process of developing these projects and hiring new staff member, you know, people, project developers and stuff like that, engineers, blockchain technicians, you know. So will this market continue to crash? Well, maybe a little bit in the short term, but we have a lot of good news coming up. The New York conference is right now actually live, happening in New York, and typically every time this year the whole market jumped. There was a lot of good news about the institutional investors coming into play. So you know, a lot of people were surprised why the cryptocurrency market didn't react to those news, and it's mainly because of the other stuff that happened at the same time that dropped the whole crypto market down. And because Bitcoin is highly correlated asset to other cryptocurrencies, it dropped it all down across the board. So that is what's happening, guys. Mike Novogratz, a billionaire investor and founder of Galaxy Digital Capital Management, is saying it's almost irresponsible for companies not to invest into cryptocurrencies. He's holding himself 10% of his net worth in cryptocurrencies, and traditional institutions are starting to test the waters. And as New York Stock Exchange will be active in crypto trading, and Novogratz predicts in less than 6 months, right? You know, stuff like that ICE and New York Stock Exchange and Nasdaq the big boys will come into the market to allow more efficient way for the institutional investors to come in, traditional investors, and to benefit from Bitcoin. You know, all of this, of course, will be a very, very good news for and billions of new dollars are going to flow into the crypto market, and all of this will happen this year. So that's on the positive side. Today, big banks are investing heavily in blockchain and crypto. 364 billion in investment firms and banks like Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Bank of America. They are really, you know, putting a lot of investment dollars into figuring out how the banks can incorporate cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology in what they're doing, because of course they cannot miss out this crypto revolution. So they either join this revolution or be left behind. Okay, so that's exactly what they're doing. So expect in the near future banks playing a big role in the cryptocurrency. Maybe they'll develop their own cryptocurrency, or in some other ways they will incorporate this technology. And just by the sheer volume of the projects and that are happening in the space, and the developers that are needed in crypto projects, like 5,000 developers in India ready to work in crypto related projects, and more people, 10,000 more developers has the potential to be trained. But the demand is really high. Very popular you know, skill sets. It's actually the #1 growing skill sets in Upwork, which is a huge company, Upwork.com, that hires people overseas. you know, to outsource and to work on projects. So this actually at the top of the skills, the number one skill was the highest year-to-year growth out of all the 5,000 skills on the site. This is the fastest growing skill, helping on and developing crypto related blockchain projects. So just by the demand of how this is such a valuable skill, the most valuable skill today for the techno workers, you know, abroad and India and other places, the demand is so high. You can know that the amount of projects that we are going to see in the marketplace is going to steadily rise and rise and rise all the time. Okay, so that's definitely a very, very good sign that the crypto market as a whole is going to go up. So right now is a great time to come into a lot of those cryptocurrencies while the price is cheaper, and get a piece of the pie before it's going to go up again, as we are cooling down a little bit from the last couple days of events. And Facebook itself, working on the top secret projects, making its own cryptocurrencies, and of course with a user base of 2 billion people and a capitalization market cap of 541 billion according to May 11th right now. That's huge. That's huge. I mean, they can influence, they can develop their own cryptocurrency, and imagine, you know, Facebook launching its own token. Everybody is going to invest in it. It's going to be a huge bubble. If you can see all of these bubbles, you know, if Telegram can raise 1.7 billion dollars in an ICO, then Facebook can definitely do at least $10 billion. You know, everybody's going to invest in the Facebook ICO, in the Facebook tokens, because the potential is so huge. They already have an established community of 2 billion people. So of course they're going to dig their resources into understanding blockchain technology, and they're already working on it. The person who developed the Messenger app is also working on a dedicated blockchain research group. Okay, so those are pretty much the news for today in crypto. So stay positive, guys. You know, hodl your cryptocurrencies, which means, in other words, hold on to your cryptocurrencies. Look and pay attention to the trades that you're doing and the assets that you are holding. Be careful during these periods of times of extreme volatility, up and down. So, you know, it's a short-term decline in the market, but in everything there is an opportunity. So definitely don't miss out and learn how to take advantage, whether Bitcoin is going up or going down. You can always convert Bitcoin into USD Tether or into fiat onto the exchange, in the exchange itself, and then convert it back into Bitcoin, so that you don't lose and profit from the swings and falls. And of course it requires you to be a little bit vigilant about what is going on in the marketplace. So those are the major news for today. Hopefully you guys have a fantastic rest of the day and fantastic week. I'm certainly here to serve you guys, and next week is going to be an amazing week. I'm going to fly to Santa Clara in California on early Wednesday, and going to stay in United States for about 8-9 days, and going to work on the business to really help Bitcoin's Wealth Club to get to a whole nother level. And it's my dedication, my commitment, guys, regardless of the roadblocks and the challenges, and regardless of anything else or any external and internal factors. I'm here for you, and I want to make it the most successful and the most family-like system and community that we are building here for you guys, to help you prosper, to help you grow. your wealth with cryptocurrencies and to help to take your life to the next level, to create freedom and abundance in your life, and to build real wealth, which is what we are all focused on here inside Bitcoin's Wealth Club, where we're helping people create crypto millionaires. So I'm going to see you guys over the next day tomorrow with a new update about the markets. And until then, have a fantastic day, everybody, and let's get it done.